fly. I be rolling with you, mommy, I be feeling the motion. When I'm inside you, I be deep as the ocean. When it comes to your love, can't lie, it be strong as a potion. That's why me and you forever be coasting. Let's roll. Co-pilot on the passenger side, be so fly. Yeah, she so lit, we so high. Just me and my chick, yeah. Just me and my chick, yeah. Co-pilot.
Yo, what up, y'all? What's going on, man? Welcome to another one, y'all. And we're back, sparking conversation. I'm your boy, Ra1. And I'm so thankful that y'all jump up here and y'all join us each and every week as we talk to some of the world's most interesting people. And besides that, I like to say thank you to all of you guys out there that download the audio version of this podcast, man. That's super dope. I really appreciate y'all, man, because like I say, y'all the real MVPs, man. Y'all be moving this thing around for us. And it's delightful to know that people really want to hear what we got to talk about. So that's really dope, right? So double salute to y'all, right? All right. So I want to start off tonight's show saying, to all the people out there that y'all have a couple of questions here and there that I get. I get questions in my inbox a lot, DMs, whatever you want to call it. And the number one question that I get all the time is well, it ain't the number one. It's one of the top ones that I get. I get other questions too, but one of the top ones that I get is about motivation. And a lot of people always ask me, you know, how do you stay motivated enough to keep going? Like, right? Like when it comes down to content creation, because some people feel like they give their best shots when they put certain things out there, and then when it doesn't do what they expected to do, they feel like maybe it's not for them. And I always, you know, had to look at things from a different perspective about that whole thing when things are not for you. Sometimes things don't be for you right then and there, but it doesn't mean that it's not meant for you as far as like your life experience is concerned. It's a lot of people who retire at things that they never really excelled in. So let's say, for example, there's a lot of people who've done music and or rap or whatever you want to call it, sing, rap. They all done music, and then at some point, because they didn't make it to whatever they felt like that major level was, they put themselves in a state of retirement, or they say things like, "Yeah, man, I don't do that no more, man. That was back. That's not me no more. I don't rap. I don't do none of that. Because for everybody that does it, I didn't understand the reason why you really did it. If you only did it in order for you to blow or to make it or to have a record deal or to be known everywhere, to be famous and all that other shit, then I could see why people quit or retire or get into that bag where they be like, yo, I don't want to do this shit no more. Or they feel like it ain't an audience for them, because you got to realize that we create the culture over here. Just because people over here listening to Sexy Red and all that other stuff doesn't mean that people all over the world who listen to hip hop ain't listening to whatever that is that they feel like is dope, or even when it comes to the singers. Because think about it, even though Sexy Red, they had her up there as the number one female rapper in the United States right now. She was on Billboard's top number one female rap. No, number two. I think number one was Nicki Minaj, and she was number two. But then her album debuted too, right after that, and they said it only did like 28,000 copies or so. So it don't equate. So what it really is that it goes to show you that the music industry, the film industry, and all these other people that have like whatever they call that button that they push, they could put anything out there to make you guys feel like this is the hottest thing, this is the dopest thing. And when it come down to it, people always show up. They let you know like, nah, this ain't it. We don't really fuck with this, because for all the people that be out here quoting Sexy Red and Meg the Stallion and everybody else, it don't equate in their sales. Like, you guys are not going out to buy it. Y'all getting that joint for free. Y'all going to them shows though. I see y'all. I saw Meg. Meg was in Raleigh last week, and I saw like all across the timeline. I saw so many people that was out there at the concert. You know what I mean? And some of y'all I seen that was at the concert who got family members who do music and you don't even go to their shows, and their shows be like $5, $10 to get in. But I see y'all, man. But I get it. But those are the same people that will be expecting that free ticket, that backstage pass whenever you do turn over. Because you can turn over without having a record deal. You can get movies out and be in that space without having to sign up for anything that's dealing with Hollywood. But then again, you know how people are. People are wanting to be famous. They don't want to put in that work. And I understood that a long time ago. So, when you putting out to those people that be asking me those questions about motivation, you got to put all of that stuff into consideration. Your motivation got to come from the fact that this is something that you love to do and like you passionate to do, because you're going to get discouraged at times. It's going to be times where you're going to be setting up for things and people may not show up. You throw events, people may not show up. You put some shit out, you might only get 1 or 2 views, no likes, and then you might get 1,000 views with no likes and no comments. It's like, wow, you just never know. But the point is, though, you just gotta keep going. I think the best basketball player in the world, from what they say, was some say Michael Jordan, some say Kobe Bryant, some say LeBron, and it's a few others that people put out there. But the number one thing about all of them, they said that they kept practicing. It's like no matter how good they were or how many championships they won, they still practice. So that means for you, that's doing something. You got to still shoot. You got to get at the free throw line and practice your free throws. If you want to win the game, you got to practice your free throws. So you got to keep shooting. You can't look at, always hitting the game winning shot, but you got to be able to be a person that they could count on to put the ball in the bucket, yo. And I think that's where you could get your motivation from. Just knowing that you doing this something that you love and it's keeping you out of trouble, right? For some of y'all, I know y'all used to lie on the studio and say y'all was there and y'all really wasn't. But for those people that really was in the studio, that shit kept you out of all kind of trouble. It kept you out the streets. Now I know a lot of bad things happen to people in the studio. I'm not saying that. It just depends on what type of music you're doing, what type of crowd you keep in. That goes for everything. You know what I mean? Not just your art. That don't go for that. So, it's an exception to every rule. But all I want to say is that keep pushing, keep putting your shit out there, and don't worry about what it look like right now. Just see yourself where you want to be, and then that's where you're gonna get. But you gotta be consistent. That's where anything in life you gotta be consistent, right? So so tonight we had a guest. The guest is not able to be on tonight, so it's cool. We're gonna talk about something I think is dope. Me and Meek, we gonna get at it. We're gonna talk a little bit about personality traits, right? Um, Personality traits, because you have to deal with different type of people if you are any of the things that we consider an entrepreneur. uh if you work around people, like just have a 9 to 5, if you are someone that is engaging on online sales or anything that has to do with sales and all that, you have to be able to engage people, right? So personality traits is important. Personality traits is important too when it comes to different personal relationships that you have, even when it comes to your siblings, right? You got people who live and die by the fact of this is who I am. You know how many people use that phrase right here? This is just who I am. This is just how I am. This is just me. Like people say that all the time. And for some reason people say that in the context of you just gotta accept me because this like, oh, okay, I bet. So now it's like, all right, that's you. I don't like that you. So I don't have to accept that. But for some reason, people feel like because they say that phrase, this is how I am, this is what I do, that people just supposed to accept it. So I'm thinking when it comes down to personality traits, it's almost like the conversation we had about love languages, right? Love languages is something that is about the personal relationship between people and how you guys can maneuver and get along with that particular portion in life. But then personality traits come in whenever you are going through stuff or when you're not going through stuff. Can you be around this person? You know how many people broke up after, during the pandemic? You know how many single people is right now because of the pandemic because they was in a relationship all these years, but people was going to work and then when they really had to really be around somebody 24/7, 7 days a week on that whole little, lockdown and everything else, that they realized that this person is not it. Personality traits. Now these people that signed up for all kind of shit with these people. They got bills, furniture, rent a center, calling both of them and shit. Like all of this stuff going on because they had a buffer in between, which was space and time, and a moment to reflect and do other things and have other people around you. But then when you realize that this is the person that you signed up with, personalities come into play, and that shit do not gel well. So let me bring Meek up real quick. We gonna uh we're gonna talk this thing through. I want to talk to it through by about like zodiacs too, because people they live and die by the trait of the zodiac, but they only live and die by their sun sign, and we want to talk about that a little bit too. Like you have a moon sign, like you was either born at night or you was born in the daytime. But some of us that was born at night, some of us no matter what time of the day you was born, that particular day, your moon was in a certain spot too. And that determines half of your mood as well. A lot of people don't know that too. So we're gonna talk about that too. So let's get Meek in the building real quick. Ah,
What up?
okay, there you go. All
I
right,
feel like
back.
I'm on a delay.
Huh?
Yeah, I feel like I'm on a delay or something.
Nah, it was right up at first, but you know what? Me too. Because when I first came
Can
in,
you?
I had the stupidest look on my face, and it was paused right there, and I was like, "Damn, man, shit, I had to wait." And, and then it kicked in. So here we go. But what's good though, yo? You alright?
Awesome. Yeah, I'm cool. How about you? Well, I put something in my neck. I'm so old, any sudden movements can just discombobulate my whole
It just tears
system.
me up.
So it's been
Yo,
rough.
I ain't gonna lie. That's why I still be going to that gym because I've been seeing people as they start to climb up that age ladder. They be needing a little bit of help, and yeah, I'm trying not to be in the space where I need some help, yo. Cause yo, where's Bond, yo? I ain't gonna lie, them things come out of nowhere, all kind of aches and pains and cracks and shit.
It's rough
Yeah,
out
like,
here.
damn, all I did was take a nap. Now my knee.
I'm telling you, like 2 years ago, I sneezed. I had to go straight to the chiropractor. Like straight, like I sneezed, my neck went out. I was like, I gotta go to the chiropractor. Like I had to go straight
Damn.
there from the sneeze. Okay,
Now that's a mean sneeze. And
it was.
people do got some threatening, sneezes too. Like
I got
depending on
allergies real bad. So when I was outside with the kids, we was at the park. Man, that sneeze almost took me out.
I'm trying to tell you, some people's sneezes will make you feel like they're getting abused in the house if you walk by. If you walk by their house outside, you're like, oh my, oh damn, we just slapped the shit out of her. No, he didn't. She sneezed, yo. I be
Yeah,
giving
my oldest
disclaimers.
sneezes like that. My oldest
Yo, I be
sneezes
giving,
crazy because her father sneezes like that. So
oh
it's
word.
just loud and obnoxious. It's like, what is wrong? Like, what's coming out of your soul? Like,
So
what is
dope, yo.
happening?
Yo, listen, sneezing sometimes that be the best thing for you. I ain't gonna lie. Cause every time I sneeze, I gotta blow my nose. So it helped me get rid of all that shit.
Yeah, but when
Yo,
it's throwing your neck out, it's not.
yeah, I ain't never heard of that before. I ain't never seen a sneeze take somebody's neck out. Yo, that's crazy. That mean your sneeze you did was violent.
Yeah, yeah, it was unnecessary.
Violent, yeah. But listen, so earlier I was saying in the intro that, personality traits, right? I think that is like something that I feel like a lot of people don't take into consideration. You know what I mean? Like when they're dealing with people, right? Because like I said earlier, it's a lot of people who were in relationships with people for a long time before the pandemic. And then once the
Mhm.
pandemic came and they had to actually be around this person mad long, they was broke up before the pandemic was over. People was back at their mother house. People was at their homeboy cribs. Like it was crazy out here. The amount of people that are single now that came out of the pandemic who went in the pandemic in a relationship because the personality started to kick in whenever you saw them every day, all day,
I
right?
don't know if it was their person. It was more how people handle pressure, crisis. And you notice some traits that came out that may be different than their regular life. You probably didn't notice all those other traits because they weren't in that panic state, that crisis mode. That's when you really get to see somebody full circle.
Yeah. I mean, but I think certain things are needed in a relationship in order for you to understand like whether you with the right person or not. Like, right? Like sometimes you gotta be in a certain type of test. I think life is gonna test you anyway, right?
Yeah, supposed
So
to.
yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna test you each and every day, right? So um it's not until those things happen that you realize if you're with the right person or not in that capacity.
Hmm.
Right? Don't mean that they're not good people or that they ain't that you guys couldn't be at a certain level. But like whenever it got to go past wherever you guys are compatible at, then that's where the conflict come in. So yeah, it's cool, but you need those little tests because, like you said, they ain't never been a pandemic before. So I can understand that people had a different type of mindset that might have kicked in, a lot of fear and different things like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, as the joint started going to where it was going and it started dwindling down, people started like, yo, because in the beginning, bad people was cool with it because they ain't had to go to work. But then they kids, single parents, they hated it because them kids was kicking their ass, right? Because some people ain't raised their kids since they had them because they put them in daycare as soon as they was able to go back to work, right? So
Facts.
their child has been raised by the daycare people, for the longest. And then when they got old enough to go to school, they went right to school. The parents ain't really had to, you know,
Yeah. Gotta make that money to pay them bills.
you know what I'm saying? So, personality traits. Let's do based on zodiac. So, what's your sign, yo?
I'm Capricorn.
Capricorn. All right. So, some of the pros and cons that you feel like people say about Capricorns, because that's your sun sign, right? You know your moon sign?
Yeah, I think it's Virgo. Let me check.
Virgo. All right, so just in case people don't know,
Yeah.
let me read that. I think most people probably would know where the sun and moon sign is, but some people may not have heard of that. So let's just let me look it up real quick. I want to give y'all the not so ghetto version because I'll just put the shit together. So let's see. Between your sun and moon sign. All right. So what this breakdown says about the difference between your sun and your moon sign. So it says the sun sign represents our ego and motivation, right? The moon sign governs our emotional nature, right? So whenever we put ourselves in that box of saying like, oh, I'm this, so this is just all I am. It's like, you pretty much forget that other part of you that you know what I'm saying that you don't really too much focus on. So for you, like you said, your moon sign was a Virgo, right?
Mm-hmm.
I bet. So based on your own, personal breakdown of yourself, how close is the description of the personality traits of your signs are you? Are you
For
close to the definition?
Capricorn, yeah, for Capricorn, definitely. Virgos, I've looked on a little bit because both my baby daddies are Virgos,
Okay.
but not too much. But they're both earth signs. Um, and so that kind of makes me feel like I do resonate. I know for Capricorn for sure, most things about a Capricorn I possess. I do have those traits. Um, I not that I try to claim them just to claim them, but no, it is a lot of who I am for sure.
Right, right, right. Yeah, because my sun sign is Sagittarius, right? It's a fire sign. So yeah, I pretty much gotta, you know what I mean? Like I have to work on myself over the years of like the way I say things. And even now sometimes the way I say things still, will get taken, the wrong way. But I've been working on it a lot, like trying to figure out words, pick the right words, uh, the right inflections, um, catching myself when I feel like I'm raising my tone to bring it down. I'm really trying to learn that because like when it comes down to what the fire signs represent, yeah, I pretty much got that down pat too, yeah. But
And you got that Jersey in you, so mix those two up. So yeah, you gonna be
it do
loud.
come off a little different at times. But it's one of them things where I can say this, like I'm not really a take it or leave it type of person. Like I'm not that person. I'd be like, yo, you just gotta take it or whatever. But it's more so like if I've done something to someone that made them feel a certain way, I'll apologize though. Now I
Mhm.
might not can't apologize for how I feel, but I can apologize for how it made you feel, or whoever
Yeah.
the person is. So I'm at least that, and I think that comes with my moon sign because mine is a Pisces, right? So
Mhm.
that's a water sign,
Yeah.
and they mad emotional.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I got that balance because, I think that's what keeps me the emotional part of me as well. Cause look, I ain't gonna lie, like I can't watch certain movies when it get to a certain part, my ass will just water. Like it'll just start going raw. Like so like if it's any situation where I gotta try to be cool, I can't watch certain things because I get excited. Like when the inspirational part come on, that fuck me up. Or like whenever, or like I ain't gonna lie, because one day I was scrolling on the phone, not really scrolling, but on YouTube, and then uh paternity court came through as one of the
Mm.
next little videos or whatever. So like the story was about a girl. She was an adult. I think she was like 30 something. She was in her 30s. She brought her mother to court for what she considered paternity fraud. She was like, "Yo, my mother been lying to me all my life about who my father is. You know what I'm saying? Hey, she been saying it's this one guy the whole time, but this other cat found me on Facebook talking about he my dad or whatever, right?" So then the dude that found her on Facebook, he in the courtroom, he like, yeah, man, he started telling his story and the way that he talked about it, he was like, yeah, man. So look, he said, I thought that was my kid. I thought that was my baby. He said, next thing I know, she just up and disappeared and she just left. I don't know where she went. I don't know why she left. I went to her mother house. Her mother and her would tell me, "Oh, I don't know. I talked to her the other day. I know she's okay." But then, like all this other stuff, so he had to go through that for years. Like not really. He been looking for Shorty. Come to find out, Shorty life was terrible with her mother. She done been in and out of foster homes, all other kind of stuff. So she had this anger in her, but she turned her life around. Like I bet. So because she was going through all that, she changed her life around. She a mom now, but she, got a life. She's got a degree. She got her shit
Mhm.
together, basically. right? And so she like, yo, I want my kids to know their grandfather because the guy that she said is my dad, he deceased.
Mhm.
This guy, he's saying that he my dad and he been looking for me. Now, Fan Man older, he admitting he's like, man, I got on that the Facebook thing and I was looking, I was trying to go around and figure it out. I don't know about this mess. He in there going through it. So look, he just get to a point where she start getting to her bag like, well, where was you? You ain't come look for me and all this other stuff. He's like, now listen, I looked for you. He's like, I couldn't find you. I couldn't find you. He was like, everybody around me was lying to me. They was telling me you was there, you wasn't there. You was here, you wasn't there. I was looking for you. Now the way that he was going about it, he was getting so emotional
Yeah.
over there, like riffing, kind of like, now you gonna look for me. Now you want to tell me you my dad, and I went through all this and da da da. He like basically he was like sound like he wanted to say. He didn't say it, but the tone he look, bitch.
Bitch, yeah. Like, bitch, I've been looking for you.
I was looking for your motherfucking ass. I couldn't find you, but he didn't. But
Yeah.
that was the emotion, and because he got into that bag like that, man, I started crying like and it was stupid. But that's the type of emotion that I be
Yeah.
dealing with. So I battle with that fire and that water sign. Literally, like I just don't mind apologizing. But I'm probably not probably. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you how I feel. But I hope you know that that I continue to be mindful to work on it.
Yeah. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. I mean, and if you trigger somebody, you say something that they don't like, or it everybody's triggers are their own problem. Not It's not our problem. You can be mindful, absolutely. Um, but I feel like a lot of people feel like you should adjust to their triggers, and
Mm.
it's like, well, no, because how about if that's a trigger for me? Like what? Like
Oh,
my
oh,
triggers
yeah.
are my problem. If you do something and it triggers me, I need to find out why that triggers me. I need to find out what's the issue and why that made me feel the way it made me feel, because that's something I need to work on. It's not up to you to never do that again. Yes, of course, be
Right.
mindful of the people you love. That's always what we are supposed to do: be compassionate, be
True.
mindful. But everybody's triggers are their own problem. So,
Nah, you know what? Nah, that's a good way to look at it because I feel like that, you people a lot of times words get people in a bunch versus like what I mean, like why you can't use certain words. And I don't necessarily feel like, yeah, the deliverer, the person that's delivering the message, like if they in the delivery, they can't think about you in the moment of the delivery, but they can be mindful of how they speak to you, like having respect first of all,
yes.
right? Like have respect for the person that you're talking to. Don't be cussing them out. Don't be yelling at them. Don't be, what I'm saying? Have respect for them. You know what I mean? While you speaking to them. But then
Mhm.
I know for me, a lot of times I get caught in the word. Like not necessarily what I'm trying to explain. It's just the words I'm using in the explanation. The word is a trigger for some people, and it's almost like, hold on, but
Yeah.
for me, it's the thing that I apologize for. Like I say, I can't apologize for how I feel because I'm not apologizing for that. This is how I feel. But
Mhm.
because it made you feel a certain way, I apologize for that. But because like you said, if you gotta if somebody got that much power over you that the words that they use put you in a certain space or make you think about, your abusive past or you know what I mean? Like you gotta figure out how you need to get through all that because you ain't
Yeah.
healed yet.
Yeah. That's a you problem. And I remember I was talking to somebody about that. and they didn't really like it. And I was just like, I get it. But it's making you take accountability for your own shit. That is your trauma. That's not my trauma. Why are you trying to make that my issue? You need to work on that. I can't blame anybody else for something that I went through and I haven't healed through. Because I have time to do that. That's what I'm supposed to be doing.
That's
Healing
a
from my past traumas. And so if I'm not doing that and I'm allowing you to take me down and cripple me just by with a word or something that you do, that's a me like why I don't know why people don't see that as a them problem. Like I can't imagine expecting somebody else to fix that for me. I don't understand.
right? Or somebody to be able to dance around you to the point where you're never gonna feel some type of way because they use phrases or and then here's the thing too, the difference between passion and anger. Like I think, that's another thing about personality traits, right? Of trying to understand the person that is in front of you, whether it be a coworker, your supervisor, because like I'm gonna give it to you like this, like just think about this though, Meek, right? So this week is Customer Appreciation Week. I mean, sorry, Employee Appreciation Week, right? All over the the nation, whatever.
Mm,
All these different companies have been posting different things that they've been doing for their employees, right? So a certain said company, which I'm not going to say, right, had an employee appreciation, but the employees were the ones that created the appreciation, not the company, right? Which is crazy if you think about it. If you if you really think about it, like this shit is crazy that it's Employee Appreciation Week, but the employees put the appreciation together and appreciated themselves, not the company saying, "Hey, this is for y'all because we appreciate y'all." Nah, it ain't go that way, right? So I think about that in life. Like, how many people go through that in life right now where they don't get the appreciation for trying to dance around your feelings sometimes, knowing that that's not their personality either, right? When a person
exactly.
pay attention to your trauma triggers, like if you tell a person deeply, like, listen, this bothered me because this is what I've been through back in the day, you gotta be sensitive to that. I'm gonna be sensitive to that, right?
Absolutely.
But you can't hold me accountable for how it makes you feel though. Like I can't do that for you, yo. Right? You gotta deal with that, man. Real.
Yeah. That's why I'm like it's a you problem. And they don't like that. They don't like that. I'm like, well, what are you
Yeah, accountability is the one account that no one wants to have.
I'm telling you, we'll be taking people out.
But shoot, man, look, trying to making somebody accountable for what they do and don't do. What? You listen. That's the whole part about even being in a position to say I'm gonna apologize because I'm gonna take accountability for how you feel. But listen, word, like, don't another pet peeve of mine, Meek, for real? Like, I hate when people ask you a question like, "Why did you do something?" And then when you tell them why,
Yeah. They say it's an excuse.
they say it's an excuse.
I'm like, well, that's the reason. That's what I said before. Remember, I told you I was like, a reason and excuse are the same thing. It's still a reason. It doesn't matter. It's not going to change it. It's like, why did you do that? Like, that's not the right question. Or what were you thinking? I don't like the tone of what were you thinking. It implies like you got to be stupid to have done
Right.
this.
To do something like that.
Yeah.
So the comment, like, so if you when people put you in that space and they say, "Yo, or they want to do this one thing," you know what it is? Like certain people, they'll come to you and they just want to tell you how you made them feel, but that's it. They just want to get that out. That's it. They don't want you to tell them why you did what you did. They don't. care
No.
about that. They only care about how it made them feel. And then that's where it goes into the whole thing about, no, listen. The one thing about relationships, no matter what it is, it go both ways. People only think relationships go both ways when it comes to the main things in the relationship. Financing and cheating. That's the only thing that people put as the most top of the things. It's like, yo, you all of this other stuff is just as important as whatever you think would mess up the relationship. These things are mess it up too. Not being able to deal with your own shit, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's
you or
like
I walk
somebody
around and
else
being
to
mad at
take your
somebody else.
baggage.
Say that
Yeah.
again.
It's like we all got triggers. Like I got my own shit to worry about, bitch. I can't be then worried about your shit
Right.
on my shit. Like,
It don't even
no.
make sense, right? It's like we all look at each other and we feel like maybe one person may feel like you got it, you got it all together because you don't ever talk about what's negative. Like me, like people got this perception of me like everything is all together. You don't have to like, or like they don't get the whole fact that not only am I up early every morning, I be going to bed late too because of everything that I do behind the scenes. So I think that what it is about this whole illusion about being in the front is that people look at it as, you know, the desire is to be there, not understanding that you got to do all this shit in the background too. Like you got to create the graphics, you got to edit the videos, you got to market and promote, you got to answer the emails, you got to answer the DMs, you got to talk to the guests, you got to schedule the guests, you got to read back, talk to the guests, you got to talk to the guests, people who talking to the guests, you got to talk. And I'm just talking about that. I ain't talking about the filming and all that other stuff. That's totally different. Because then you got to try to organize people, and then you got to pull people together. And then people say they coming, and then they don't show up. So then there's times where everybody shows up, right? So got to take the good with the bad. Like you can't walk around. I can't walk around being mad at everybody because they ain't do something like that. Because if they think they doing it for me, that's where they wrong at, right?
Mm.
The opportunity is for all of us. Right? It's people right now that'll be sitting up here talking about, yo, that had worked with us, that talking about they need a job. And then I'll be thinking like, damn, you don't see all these people making money off of content? How would you feel if you put that same energy in the content that you was in and you shared it every day? Don't share it when you ain't got no job. Share it while you got one. So then what happens? If I'm doing it, you doing it, then it's more people, be prepare yourself if that's the case. But no, and then they want to borrow, borrow.
Ain't got no means to pay it back. But look,
You just said you ain't got no job. The word borrow don't go with I don't got no job. Borrow and no job don't go together, B.
nah,
Word.
nah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about. It's like when opportunities be in front of people, they don't look at it like that. So look, I'm gonna read this real quick and let me know. I'm gonna go through all 12. So if anybody that's watching right now, when I get to your sign, if you feel like it's really short. It's not a lot, right? Because hold on, let me read this comment right real quick. What yes, she said, with so many dealing with life's challenges, it's great to show compassion towards someone and be mindful of what may trigger or bother them. So, like I said earlier, you could do that, but for so long, and then it's up to the person who is triggered to deal with that and not, especially when you know that the person that is talking to you is not your enemy.
Yeah,
Right? Certain
no,
things can't be taken as a trigger if you know the person is speaking to you out of love. The point is, some people don't want to be talk to about anything that considers them to have to be accountable for it or like pull up.
yeah. And are they using it as a weapon against you? Like if they're using that trigger against you purposely, that's a different situation. But
Facts.
if it's somebody who loves and adores you and you just know that's who they are, that's how they speak, you need to also understand that that's who they are. So you
Exactly.
guys need to come to that understanding to still be comfortable around each other or go separate ways. That's the only thing because And you got to heal your trigger because somebody else is going to trigger you with that same thing unknowingly. A stranger, you're going to
Exactly.
be triggered by a stranger who doesn't know you, owes you nothing, doesn't know anything about you. And you're going to be like, oh, I can't believe they said that around me. Like, that is a you problem. Like, you can't be triggered by strangers. Strangers don't know you. They're not using, they're not doing it on purpose. They don't know that that hurts you. And so you really need to work on that and get through
Yeah,
that.
you got to. Because everybody has a trigger. You know what I mean? Sometimes having to do that, like, some of us grew up with parents that used to make us lie for them, right? Somebody call that phone, yo, she ain't here. They come to that door, she ain't here, right? Or she ain't this, or this ain't that, or this, that, and the third. Like some of us had to go through certain things in life. So like you just never know when it just come to the point where some people don't want to dance around other people sometimes. And then I get that too. Like what she says, like, be mindful. And that's one thing that,
Mhm.
like I said earlier, being mindful of what may trigger a person is one thing, but then that person got to realize that if you want people to recognize your triggers as well, you can't be mad when they don't say something, especially if they know it's going to trigger you. So then be okay with not knowing everything if you know certain things are going to trigger you. You got to be okay with that. You can't be a person that knows that you easily trigger but want to know everything too as well.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't do that. If you know that certain things bother you, don't ask about those things, because then you're causing your own trigger,
That's true.
right?
Yeah.
Because you mentally thinking about something you shouldn't. Don't put yourself in it. I'm one for sure. Like, yo, it's plenty of times like, yo, don't show me if it's certain things I don't want to see. Don't show it to me.
Hmm.
That's it. That should be out of respect. Out of
Yeah.
all things, because I asked you not to do that. Don't do that for me. That's all I'm saying. I don't. I understand how you live. Don't do it to me. Don't invite me places I don't want to go.
Yeah.
That's for anybody. I don't care who it is. If you know me and that's not something Rod gonna do, Rod ain't gonna go there. Don't invite me. I don't do it. I'm not gonna do it. So don't do it.
Yeah.
Right? But that's me saying it to them. That's not me saying to you, don't be upset. I'm just saying, like, listen, don't invite me there. Like I got respect for all people, but you can't invite me to certain people's stuff, right? Like I'm not going to do that. You can't do that. Like they say, like I be getting calls. Sometimes people be saying, "Yo, I want you to come to this rally over here, or come to this rally over here." Nah, B, I'm not coming to those types of rallies, especially the political ones. You know, that's not my thing. I'm not going to the rally. Now I'll go to the meetings. I'll go to all of those things that consider where you got to think and be. But I'm not
Mhm.
going to stand out in front of. I'm not boycotting with y'all. I'm not doing that. I don't care what color we are. I'm not standing out in front of nobody business yelling at them.
Um,
Or you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's just certain things that don't invite me. I'm not going.
exactly.
Word.
Because you know that's a trigger for you, so you stay away. And so that's what people need to do. That's what I was telling somebody too. I was like, if that person triggers you, why do you keep putting yourself in their presence? Like that doesn't make sense. You expect them to change when really all you got to do is remove yourself. You have that power. You don't have to be around them all the time if you don't have to.
At all.
So if you're allowing them to trigger you, like that's a choice you're making at that point.
Right. And then some people, when they know they got power over you emotionally, where they could get you to react a certain way, they'll keep doing stuff to you and mind fucking you,
Oh
playing
yeah.
you on your emotions, right? Because they know that they could get this reaction out of you. They could get you to do this, that, and the third. Next thing you know, you're a puppet because they're
Yeah.
able to use your triggers against you.
And
Like,
all
and
you gotta
that's
do is
another
chill.
thing, Geppetto.
Spend that
So I
time. Yeah.
I'm gonna start. All right, so this is the Aries. So all of y'all that are Aries, this is what they say about Aries. They say Aries are competitive but insecure. All right. Taurus. They say Tauruses are loyal, but they're stubborn. Gemini. They say Geminis are versatile, but they're impatient. Cancers. They say they're passionate, but uncommunicated. Leos. They say they're confident, but they're dominating. Virgos. They say they're perfectionists, but they're self-critical. Libras. They say they're empathetic, but indecisive. Which is crazy because I think they sign supposed to represents the balance or whatever.
Yep.
So that's so Scorpio, they say that they're intense, but they're secretive. Sagittarius, they say that they're spontaneous but flighty. Capricorn, they're goal oriented, but they're unforgiving. Aquarius is philosophical, but they're detached. A Pisces is whimsical but oversensitive. So that's all of them. Now they got a small paragraph up under each one that goes just a little further in it, but not really. It's not really long. It's probably about 15, 20 words, right? But that's what I'm saying about those things. So out of everybody, everybody's two of those signs at least, but they don't.
More.
Some of them more.
Yeah, because there's your moon, your sun, your rising, your Mercury, Venus, like all the planets.
Oh
You
yeah,
have
like the planets align and all that other stuff based on your number, your date. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. So I feel like with that though, like if a person does that and they break it down to that science, then they could pretty much get a basic, look at their life overview, right? Is that sort of like what y'all do in the joint that y'all do, the conference that y'all having? Is that sort of like what
no,
y'all do with
it's
the life?
it's not. There's astrology tied into it. We don't go that deep into it. But no, it's not really based on your astrology.
Okay,
It
okay,
is
back.
where the sun and everything was placed, but not like this, not this part of
I like this,
astrology.
not this deep. All right, back because you're right. They do. It does set up for how all the planets align and different things, and whether people know it or not, it does make a difference because uh, the moon affects us. I know for some people, the moon affects them in a really different way, and then for some of us, depending on some nights where the moon is not visible at all you feel kind of weird, right? Like I know for me, it feels weird whenever the moon is not visible at all. I know it's only like a, once a 1 day or 2 days a month that it's like
Yeah,
that. I think or something like that. It's not often,
becoming an ending phase.
before the new moon comes, but it's a few times a month where it's like that, or a couple maybe, and yeah, it feels different, right? And
A
so
void.
and then what you say?
It's like a void. Like it's just like yeah, it's a stagnant feel. Like I don't know. I can't.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Because even when ever being at the beach, like anytime I've been somewhere where there's water at, right, and the moon has been out, you could the tide is different based on the full moon, and then based on like the quarter moon or the half moon or whatever. Like I've gotten to experience like being around water through all them different changes, and it's always different like during those times, right? Like when the moon is as brightest, it seems like the waves be rolling. Like it's crazy out there. The tides be high. So I know a lot of people are affected by the moon, and I don't know if they really pay attention to it or not, but the
Yeah.
moon
I used
affects
to
a
work
lot
in
of
mental health. When I worked at the mental health practice, full moons, like we probably wouldn't know, but if our phones were ringing off the hook, we had a lot of crazy things going on with clients. Like, yo, is it a full moon right now? Like people act different phases of the moon. Like the moon controls so much more than I think people are really aware of.
that's a fact.
It has a lot of power.
That is a fact. And I think some people may not look into this stuff because it's opposite of what religion is. Even though everything in there is a pretty much about the zodiacs. Like once it's broken down, it's like it's pretty much about that. But the 12 disciples, and then you got the 12 zodiacs, you got the 13, but it was 13 altogether, but then there's mysteriously a month that's missing out here somewhere, because originally it was 13 months, so it's a lot. It's a lot of things tied to it, too much to go into in this show, because like you said a few minutes ago, lining up lining up all the other stuff. I did it one time before, and I'm gonna say it's about 96, 97% fucking accurate too.
Yeah.
Especially if you know your time of your birth.
I'm a
Like if
bird.
you got
Yeah.
that time down, if you really got that time down, because that's the one thing that a lot of people say, I don't remember the time. If they get the date and they can't remember the time, and then if you can get that time in with everything else and put it in there, yo, listen.
That locks everything in, because that's exactly the time is where they can look to see where all the signs were. What was what? It gets the latitude, the longitude. It knows exactly where everything was at that moment you enter the world. And so
Exactly.
it's so vital, even for human design. Like that time of birth really signifies and can give you a clearer picture of who you are.
And then everything that was going on when you came in. So I feel like, personality traits are something that a lot of people, I think we take that thought process for granted within getting to know a person, is that we pay attention to the love languages, we pay attention to whatever they consider is a favorite, right? We pay attention to the things that people like, but rarely do we really pay attention to their personality to figure out if we're compatible based on your personality. Can you deal with the way that this person talks, especially if you know they're not talking to you a certain way? Can you deal with the passion? Can you deal with a person that uses a lot of profanity, even though they're not using it in a way that you offensive towards you? It's just how they like. It's these things about the people. Can you deal with a person that don't eat pork and you do, right? That's another personality thing about food, because I mean, think about it. If you can't agree on what to eat, you always gonna have an issue.
My man's vegan and I'm not. We just don't
Well,
eat the same food.
but then that don't bother you all though, right? Then there's no real discussion about what to eat. Like you guys don't. It should never be a problem about what to eat. The person that's a vegan, they already know. All right, so this what we doing, and those that's not vegan, yo, this what we doing. But it's no, oh well, I can't be around you because it is. You'll be surprised. There's some people who feel like if the person ain't 1,000% like the way that they feel like they are, hey, yo, they
Yeah.
ain't with it.
Yeah.
And that goes
Crazy to
back
me.
to having a balance too about people, right? Like you can't force people to do what you want them. Like,
Mm-mm.
yeah, you can be concerned about people, but that is the thing that you got to make a choice though. Like if a person is not willing to learn how to eat at least some type of way where you can help benefit yourself to have a balance, hey, that's a little bit different, because then they're going to expect you to take care of them when they have health related issues, but they wouldn't listen to you when you was telling them to put down that fucking McDonald's and shit, because you talking about that's your favorite. And them motherfuckers was like, yo, stop eating that shit, yo, stop eating that shit. And then now, 8 years from now, you got one knee because you've been eating that dumb shit. And now you want them to wheel you around everywhere. They don't want to, like, now you putting them in a position. They try to help you not be there. So I don't
Yeah.
know. That goes back to what you said earlier about sometimes, people got to have to pick and choose what's important to them.
Yeah.
Like if your health is important, you gotta have somebody around you. If that's your life partner, they gotta be willing to understand what that means for you. Like these herbs I use, these vitamins I use, they gotta be willing to learn it. They can't just be like, "Oh, that's your shit." Like, nah, you gotta be able to learn that. It's important, right? Because if you don't learn it, you're gonna when you get sick, you're gonna expect this person to then pull out all a bag of tricks for you. But then when they get sick, you be up there asking them 1,000 questions. Hey, what should I mix with? What? Like, I just taught you. Hey, what teaching you how to do this shit? You got one time, you gotta, you don't know what to put together. Like, what is wrong with y'all out here, yo? Like, so that's what I'm saying. It's like we gotta be more in tune with the personality of the people that we with. We gotta be willing to, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least be in a position where you can understand the person. Like, God damn, you ain't gonna get nobody perfect. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't give a fuck what you look for. Some people broke up with somebody talking about they cheated and got somebody else that cheated. If you don't get over it, you're gonna keep attracting the same type of people until you understand the type of you're gonna keep attracting the same type of person.
Because you haven't learned your lesson. You see,
Nah,
so the universe is gonna keep running that shit back because you ain't catching on. So let me go ahead and keep putting you in that position until you realize, oh, I ain't supposed to do that. Like I'm not supposed to pick those type of guys. Oh, if he looks and talks and does this, I probably should stay away. They're
exactly.
not picking up on those cues right there. I
And be
can't.
okay. And be okay with accepting a person for who they are. You don't have to agree with them in order to accept them for who they are. I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of people hate to do too. It's like, like, yo, I accept you for who you are. I don't agree with it,
Yeah.
but I accept it. And I'm able to, keep my distance for things that I don't have to be a part of. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? I can be cool with you when I
Yeah.
see you. I just ain't gotta put myself in your space on purpose. But if we wind up there, yo, it's all love.
It's all love. Exactly. And people don't understand
But
that.
I'm
Like if you fall out a little bit, not even fall out, but you have a disagreement, they act like it's hate and all of a sudden y'all can't talk. It's like, no, we just disagree. Like we can disagree and still coexist. Like that's not a problem. It shouldn't be a problem is what I should
be
say.
what you're
It
saying,
shouldn't be
yeah.
a
But
problem.
so many people are not friends or family is not in each other's lives right now because of that one particular thing. You know what I mean? You have a disagreement or a fallout or whatever you want to call it, and then it's like that's the end of the world.
Yeah.
Like it's okay. We didn't agree on this particular topic. We don't even have to talk about these topics no more. Like,
Ever
yo,
again.
you got out what you wanted to say. I got out what I wanted to say. We don't gotta even bring this back up again. But it should not cause us to not be in each other's lives no more because we had a disagreement. But shit, some of us facing with that each and every day, yo. Like it's people not in our lives no more because of a disagreement. And it's
That is true.
people you love, yo. Like, yo, we didn't agree. But now y'all ain't around no more. Y'all don't talk. And pride jump in.
Yeah. And that's
You
all it
know,
be. Most of the time it's pride. It's not wanting to admit where you might have been wrong or just apologizing for the misunderstanding. It's not even like you're taking like you didn't do anything wrong and that's acceptable. You're just saying, I'm sorry for how that may have come out. Like if you took it this way, I got to take ownership for that because I said it. I said the words and this is how you took it. So let me take some
right?
accountability for the words that I used in that time and try to explain it. Let me probably say it a different way to help you understand what I'm trying to say. Either way, my point is what it is, but I could probably say it a different way.
True.
Doesn't
Yeah,
change it.
yeah. And I think that's the part that I'm working on is the way you say things, right? Uh, because for a long time I would just say it like this is it, and versus trying to find a way to say it in a way where it may not come off so blunt, so to speak. Because then that goes back to that whole thing about that's just who I am, and then you start telling that to people, you automatically expect them to accept you for who you are, and you would think so if they agree to go along with you in whatever that is, business, personal, whatever. If they decide to go along with you, be thinking, all right, so they accepted me for that. But then,
Mhm.
no, sometimes they just tolerate you.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They ain't accepting you. They just tolerate it for a little while until they get tired of it. And then once they get tired of that particular thing, that's when people go a certain way. It's just like finances. Think about it. When if it's two people in a household, if one is used to, if y'all both used to being able to contribute, when one person is down, the other one got to pick up, depending on which role picking up, you could wind up not being in a relationship no more. You know, the
That's
woman
the
be
thing.
like,
You gotta
"Yo,
be
we don't
how does
respect you
that
no
person
more."
handle that pressure?
Yeah, but then like it's a thing. So like you got people who will say, "Yo, listen, I want to go to school and get this degree. I'm gonna need you to take care of most of the stuff while I do this." And then you'll have people reluctant to do that because then they be thinking to themselves like, "Yo, I don't know if I want to do that." And then it's like, all right, so nobody progresses. And then you got, people who got a dream or a goal or a gift and you believe in them, but you don't believe in them enough to support them in that way. So it's a lot of things that people got to realize about a person's personality. Like, yo, are you compatible with this person's personality? Because I promise you, it'll separate. It'll take a lot of things out of things. Sometimes, you'll have people who will get a person's personality, then you can probably get their friends that they're around, right? Because some people you can't bring around. Like, I know for me, it's crazy. Like, you can't bring certain people around because they don't know how to act.
That's true.
You know,
That's
I
true.
got certain family members, and once they start drinking,
It's a wrap.
can't bring them nowhere, y'all.
Yeah.
And they're just such cool people when they're not drinking. The best people. But as soon as they get that, oh man, you can't take them nowhere, yo.
Mm-mm.
The
I stay
best
away
people
from those people.
got to. I mean, but not really. So, right? Like, you could deal with them and be around them. You just can't take them around your people who ain't
No,
with.
I can't take drunk people like that. I don't know. When
Oh,
they get
okay.
drunk and belligerent too much, I mean, I grew up around that shit. So now that I'm an adult and I can walk away from it, I don't keep myself in those positions.
No,
Like,
that's a
nah,
fact. Oh, yeah, I can't
you
do
a
the drunk
sloppy
belligerent.
drunk, if you're an angry drunk, all of that, I do not hang out with you. I can't.
Yeah, I can't either. Luckily, everybody that I'm around, whenever they get to a certain point, they don't get violent and
Yeah,
all that extra stuff. So I'm thankful.
yeah,
But I grew up around it too, and yeah, like I said, I got certain family members. Hey, nah, yo, they can't go.
absolutely not.
They can't go. They the best people though. Oh
Yeah,
man, they cannot
and they're
go.
funny, cool as hell. It's just that
Can't
liquor
go.
getting in them, and it's
Can't go.
whew.
Cannot go at all. So I personally feel like personalities are important. Trying to, be okay with trying to get to know the person by their personality as well too, not just by the things they like and don't like, but just who they are as a person. How do they talk? What do they, what makes them passionate? How do they feel when they are passionate? You go through these things with people whenever they have a serious moment in their life. Sometimes it don't even be about you. It could be they lost a
Mhm.
family member, or they lost their job personally, and then they got responsibilities too, or maybe it's a parent they got to take care of. That could be a burden on a lot of people too. Some people got family members with Down syndrome, right? Some of them got family members with autism,
Mhm.
right? You They have a different personality now, not the way that they were born. They don't have nothing to do with their zodiac. Life done changed their personality.
Changed their whole life.
Yeah. They used to have these love languages. Now they just want to be left alone. They don't got no love language. They just want a peace of mind because they always got to deal with somebody else.
Yeah,
And it be people complaining about that every day. They
yeah.
gotta
That's
take
why
care of
some
it. Huh?
some couples break up if they have a child with special needs, or child goes through a illness or something like that, like they end up getting a divorce or splitting up because that pressure is a whole different type of pressure. It's
Yeah,
you're seeing them in a situation you probably have never seen them in, and it brings out different things in different people.
true. True, because even when people lose people too, like in their life, like some people, they lose a family member that they were really close to, it changes them.
Yeah,
I mean, they don't, and then you gotta give them grace too, because it's not like they wanted to change. This is just
yeah,
how this affected them.
yep,
And then for you to try to expect them to be hurry up and get over it just because you got over something. You know what I mean? Like, nah, they need all the time that they need to get over it. Sometimes it take years,
yeah,
for people to
yeah,
get, and then sometimes people don't get over shit. Like when they lose a loved one, they don't ever get over it. They deal with it, but they don't ever really get over it. Sometimes the smallest things are triggering an emotion about them when they think about them, but they love these people so much. So, you know, hey, it's a real thing to that.
yeah,
Sometimes people change. Like things will happen to them and it'll change them.
absolutely.
So you got to pay attention to the person's personality. That way you'll know like if it's a real change or not too. Because if you know this person normally is like this and you know what happened to them and they not like that no more, yeah,
Something ain't right.
you may have to make your decision, about being around them. But well, I hope that the people that's watching it now and the people that watch the playback, I hope you guys, maybe do a little bit of research into your moon sign and your sun sign to see, how much of that is you, and then be able to kind of use that as like your blueprint to kind of help you with personality traits and triggers. Because, like I said, if you are easily triggered, then you're easily controlled. Remember that you're easily controlled if you're easily triggered. Yes, you said losing a loved one is tough for real. Yes, very much so. And I know that for a lot of people, they felt like they was just getting good in life with these people too. Like, you know what I mean? Just getting in the best part of their life, and yeah. So everybody can't do. That's another thing too. Before we go, that we was talking about being mindful of what you say about people, right? Like if you got your parents, you can't be talking about people who don't have it. Like you got to be mindful, right? You can't look at it like it's their fault
Yeah,
because you got yours, or you may not have yours and they do. Like it ain't their fault. So you can't be
exactly.
mad at those relationships because I've heard, which I wanted to talk about this. I'm gonna do this on another day of topic. Yo, there are really people who get upset with people who find happiness, like
Yeah,
family members.
yeah. I know somebody who's like that with
Like,
somebody who she claims is her best friend, but she hates on this girl, and I don't think she realizes it. But yeah, like they don't want to see you happy.
no,
They stay close to you to watch your downfalls, to get glory out of your downfalls. And it's a
yo,
very ugly trait. It's a
that's
very ugly trait.
crazy stuff. And then what's so worse is people in relationships with people who don't want to see them go to rise either. Like personal relationships. Like they're in a boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever, you know, if you're part of the letters of the alphabet. If you any of those things, like that's cool. Ain't my business. I'm just saying whatever your relationship is, it's people that you are with that don't want to see you do good. Like for
Yeah,
some reason they take it as a personal stab against them if you try to maneuver your life path.
you gotta cut
That
them
is,
people out of your
man,
life. You
yes,
gotta
it's
cut
so
them the fuck out because their energy is ugly over you. And that's not, you don't want that in your corner. You don't want that around you.
Nah,
So if
at
you
all.
know it, you notice it, you see it, you gotta let that shit go, no matter how long the friendship. And some of them, they've been friends for so long, and now it's starting to be noticeable, and they're like, wait a minute. And it's,
Like,
so
wait,
they find
no.
it hard to make those detachments. And I'm like, no, you gotta cut that shit out.
Hell
You have
yeah.
to.
Hell yeah. Because you know, those be the people who, you know, be the closest to you. Like I think about Selena, you know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you know, it always reminds me of her story. You know, how this person was her nanny. You know, like this person had been with her through mad long, yo. But the whole time jealous. You know what I
Gotta watch
mean?
them.
And it be people like that in relationships with people and different things where the people be around you, but they be jealous on the low and they don't really be feeling you. That's a whole nother show though. Like we really gotta dive into that one day about that topic because that's some shit that people really deal with on a day-to-day basis because they call certain people their friend. They say that they their friend. And they not really the definition of a friend. They just somebody you known for a long time and you were able to get along with. But were they really your friend? Like, are they really your
Yep. Telling you,
friend?
that's why people need to start picking up on energy. I'm telling you, energy never lie.
It's
It does
important.
not lie. You can feel that. They can say whatever they want out of their mouth. They can do whatever they want, put on any facade they want. But that energy, if you can
Don't
feel that, whew, it don't matter what they say. You can tell
no
me anything, bitch. I don't believe you.
at all. At all. Because I could feel it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You walk into a room. And then some people say, like, you know, whenever you walk into a space and you and that energy, like you feel like this ain't your vibe, like you're not supposed to be there and all that other stuff. They say always pay attention to the corners of the room that you walk in whenever you feel like. If there are corners that are dark, that's one of the main reasons why you feel the way that you feel when you walk into a room and you don't feel right, right? So I feel like for most people, pay attention to personality traits, right? Pay attention to it. Like study your people, study your person, study your business partners, study your coworkers. Like don't just go around because you know some of these people got coworkers that's like this close from snapping. And you don't know because you're too busy in your own shit. Pay attention. Pay attention to everything around you. I promise you it'll help you out. Because like I said, you know, you're never gonna be perfect enough for nobody. You're not gonna get it right. You're not gonna not be able to dance around everybody that you know where they're not gonna be triggered. That's a personal thing. You're gonna have to get control of your own personal trigger. Person that can trigger you can control you. Period. And you don't want that. You don't want a person that could just use anger and emotion and, you know, against you all the time to make you feel like you crazy.
Hmm.
Because people don't care about you. Anytime people got to try to intimidate you or, you know, talk down to you in order for you to make you feel like, you know, you are always the problem and they never the problem, fuck out of here.
Yeah. Be careful of those people. They never wrong. Like never, not one, no day in your life were you ever wrong. Like that's crazy to me.
And then these people that only apologize in order to get what they want. Like they'll apologize only to get what they want. You know what I mean? They'll go through a few days and then whenever they got a little need they need, now they want to apologize or, you know, something like that. Look, I just want to apologize or vice versa. You know, these people do that to you. But the whole time they do these things on purpose because they try to keep you mentally in this space. Avoid a conflict. You know how many people, men and women, have this thing where they love to avoid conflict, so they'll let somebody, you know, talk to them some type of way or treat them some type of way just so they can avoid the conflict. Like, yo, I don't want them problems. Versus telling these motherfuckers, yo, if you don't get out my face, yo, word is bond, yo, if you don't get out my face, promise you, I'm gonna get out yours. I
We gonna have a
promise
lot of
you,
problems.
I'm gonna get out yours. You better figure it out. Like, get out my face, or I'm gonna get out yours. Yo. It's easy. You know, like yo, WAP, don't play with your stuff. Look, don't play with me. All right, so we get ready to get up out of here. So before we do, let them know me. You got anything going on? Anything coming up?
Yeah, so stay tuned, follow me. I'm trying to put together a mommy and me human design class where we help break down your child's human design chart as well as yours. And that helps you just to kind of know your kid on a deeper level. You really get to know them more than you think you know them already. And so stay tuned for that. We're hoping to get some interest and get that rolling in the next couple of months. All things human design, I think this summer is going to be my
Yeah,
theme. I got some possible collaborations with the five top traits with that kind of thing and mixing that in with human design. That
gotcha.
somebody reached out to me for a possible collaboration. So I don't know. Stay tuned. We'll
All
see.
right, that works. That works. All right, so y'all make sure y'all follow Meek, man. Y'all keep up with what she got going on, and if you're interested in figuring out your human design, make sure you reach out to her. If you need a planner or a journal, make sure you reach out to her and see if y'all can make that shake. All right. As far as over here on the platform, next week's show is gonna be really dope because we got the candidate for mayor of Raleigh, North Carolina. We're gonna have him on the platform, and we're gonna have one of the guys who was running for mayor who decided to get behind this particular candidate. He's also going to be on the platform next week. We're going to talk to them. This is going to be our platform where we're going to talk a little bit of politics because remember, we're still helping out impacted families. The one of the people that was supposed to be on was an impacted family tonight, but they had some things that came up. But they will reschedule to be back on. So we're still on that whole pursuit of helping impacted families because what we understand that all the people that we're helping on the platform, the families that are impacted, in order for them to get justice, that'll help change some things in the background. Remember, this is election season, y'all. Regardless if you're into politics or not, these other people are writing things into play, into legislation, into law that is going to affect you. And if you do not pay attention, it's going to ban you. Like, for one thing, we got to get together and come against this whole private prison, right? That's ran by the record label. So the record labels are owning the private prison. So the music that you guys are listening to, all the stuff, all that energy, like me said, that they're giving out to you guys in order for you guys to gravitate to. For all of y'all that's twerking and feeling your little ratchet moments and all the other shit that y'all doing. Remember, the people that's out on the streets that's listening and going through all that is going through that whole recycling thing. And the people who own the record labels own the private prison. So just remember that. So for all of you guys out there that's fronting and thinking that you just enjoying your ratchet moment, remember all of this lame ass music that you guys claim that y'all love, all of it. If they're using that same shit to make sure your kids want right up in their joints because they running their boat. Why you think they only paying artists a percentage of a penny to stream your music? Because they know that they still making money off of you in the back end from the government. They're paying them for every bed that they fill. So remember that. So we're gonna talk to the mayor or the candidate. Hopefully we speaking it into that he's gonna be the mayor, but yeah, we're gonna speak with him next week. Other than that, we got a bunch of new content dropping, so y'all make sure y'all follow Collective Visions on Facebook and on YouTube. Yeah, on YouTube, and y'all check out all the content that we got going on. And yeah, man, I'm just gonna keep pushing, y'all. We rolling. We got films coming, whole nine, y'all. All right, people, we just focus over here on this end, man. We keep building, we keep building. People should watch they Clone Tyrone. Yeah,
Yeah,
yo, for
no.
real. Y'all need to watch that. If y'all haven't watched they Clone Tyrone, watch it. It's not for entertainment. It's definitely for information. Watch it because you know these whistleblowers are coming out, yo. This whole all this fake meat and all that other shit, they killing them. You know what I'm saying? Wingstop got found out that they was getting their meat from China. I'm telling y'all, man, y'all listen, pay attention, y'all. Right? They playing us. This whole Democratic Party, all this other shit is whack, you know. But the Democratic Party is playing black people. I'm telling y'all, they stopped the drilling, they stopped the oil drilling, so they could charge you more for the gas and the whole nine. Y'all know that, yo. They had chicken supposedly shipped in from China. Most of these restaurants and stuff is getting their meat from China. Why? We got all this farmland out here, and China is buying up farmland over here. Why? Y'all not paying attention to that? I'm saying like so many people got money they got stashed over somewhere. Y'all buy the farmland, grow the food. Like I don't get it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, right? But it's right in front of y'all face, and don't be surprised. AI is taking over. Y'all need to get into the bag and start making that money with AI. I'm telling y'all, things are gonna change. So either you gonna change with it or you gonna get left behind. So next week, y'all join us. We're gonna get that off. And until then, I want y'all all to be cool out there, be safe out there, and just remember, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. Let's go until next week. Peace.